Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop us a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue number 85 of Imperium magazine, and we have our penultimate Necron unit in the shape of the Hexmark Destroyer. A pretty cool unit. It's got a few little dinky pieces, some pieces that are going to be very, very delicate and I'm not going to lie, a little bit of pain to put together, but a pretty cool Necron. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of looking forward to him. He's got a kind of a cool looking derpy face, which is quite entertaining, and he has a nice little bit of firepower as well. So good stuff for Necron fans. Moving into the issue, we are greeted by our Hexmark Destroyer, of course, a tripedal Necron sharpshooter. So Hexmark's destroyers believe that the most efficient way of slaughtering organic life is through the application of accurate fire. Thus, they have enhanced their forms with targeting systems and deadly weapons. So, talking about his derpy looking face, he has obviously a vast array of sensors, all in the shape of ocular sensors that allow it to track and target multiple enemies at once before slaying them with accurate fire. He has enigmatic disintegrator pistols, which are pistols that cause the target's atoms to violently repel each other, resulting in a fairly explosive demise, which sounds absolutely gruesome. And of course, because he's a destroyer, he has 3 legs, so obviously designed to skitter and scurry across difficult terrain fairly swiftly as well. So pretty cool and pretty interesting, and a little bit of something different, which is always very, very, very nice. Moving forward, obviously, of course, you get your usual battle record on the other side of the page, so you can give the unit designation, their gifts of destruction, and name the decay of self as well. So fairly decent, not too bad at all. Moving on though, we get more information about one of the other heroes from within the 41st millennium. This is Ezekiel, Grand Master of Librarians. Stern and uncompromising, Ezekiel rarely speaks outside of rituals or during interrogations of captured fallen. It is he that assesses the worthiness of candidates for the inner circle. Ezekiel was the first recruited on Delphinia 3. Discovered, branded and scarred within a lightless oubliette by dark angels engaged in purging local heretics, Codicia Meroth, part of the force, sent young Ezekiel's psychic potential from many miles away. So, a powerful librarian within the Dark Angel ranks, a pretty cool looking one as well, and one of the more unique heroes as well. So, another unique hero, especially for the Dark Angels, which is always really, really good stuff, and quite interesting as well. So, being the Grand Master of the Librarians as well, he is Keeper of the Keys, and this privilege allows him to open all but very few of the many portals on the Rock, and he does carry the Book of Salvation and such like as well with him. So, not bad at all. We get more information about one of the other heroes within the 41st millennium, Samuel. So Samuel has served as captain of the 2nd Company for over a century, an unusually long time. The Raven Wing have suffered the loss of a master more than any other company in the chapter, for they are always at the forefront of the hunt for the fallen. So the Raven Wing, being part of the Dark Angels, are kind of all designed these flying speeder bikes, which are weird, a little bit interesting, and these jet bikes are pretty cool. Yeah, they just remind me of speeders from good old Star Wars, I'm not going to lie, but obviously with a 40k twist to them. But Samuel is the Grand Master of these Raven Wings, and is pretty cool at the same time, so not bad at all. Then we move on, we get more information about the Tyranids and the invasions, which is very, very handy because the next edition of Warhammer 40k is in the pipeline. It's coming sometime soon, and it is going back to Tyranids. and we get new Space Marines. So we also see a return of new Terminator units, which are pretty cool. The new Terminator armor, which is pretty decent, bit chunkier, a little bit bigger, so it fits in with a Primaris, and really good stuff. So the Tyranids, obviously knowing their invasions, kind of like to just pull up and start destroying and devouring everything as they can. So, to witness a Tyranid invasion is both terrifying and fascinating in equal measure, and betrays the true intelligence and adaptability of the hive mind. So, this is a really, really good bit. If you want to learn a bit about Tyranids before the next edition of 40k comes along, definitely worth having a read through, because it gives you some inquisitorial reports to do with the Tyranid invasions, and all the different bits and pieces as well. So from where it's Gene Stealers, good old Hormagaunts, Termagants, and much more. I can never pronounce all the names of the different parts of the swarm, but they're pretty cool. They're a bit different, they're weird, and they are proper alien units sent to just destroy, and yeah, really, really good stuff. We get more information about the Eldari, and this is Ynnari. So the Ynnari are a new power amongst the Eldari. They seek to raise Ynid, the Eldari god of the dead, to life, and in doing so spell the doom of Slaanesh and restore their race's former glory. Their hatred of chaos makes them useful allies at times, but like all Eldari, they are just as often mortal foes to humanity. So, the Ynnari are an Eldari faction. They're a fairly one that's kind of come up through the ranks, and yeah, they do oppose chaos, but they can be a pain in the backside as well to go up against. You get the inquisitorial reports and information about them as per usual we have with other good old Eldari sections. So if you like a little bit of Eldari lore, definitely worth having a read through, because this might be a faction that you might be interested in, and you know, you might want to splurge some cash and go Eldari. Then we get a story in search of plunder. So a space hulk has emerged from the warp above a remote Imperial world. A Necron cryptek is drawn to the hulk by the prospect of unearthing lost treasures and ancient technology. His boarding party are not alone, however. The lesser races are no less hungry for plunder and salvage. So obviously space hulks, big massive vessels that are vast floating structures formed from carcasses of ships fused together in the warp over a period of many centuries, and some of them do contain very, very, very valuable relics and old technologies and stuff like that that could be very worth a lot in the 41st millennium. So pretty cool, and a pretty decent little story as well. So not bad at all. Then we've got a how to build guide. Fairly simple. There are some small parts, so do be careful, because you don't want to lose them, because if you lose them, I'm not gonna lie, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get them, because yeah, of how dinky they are. But fairly good stuff. And then we get a painting guide. In all honesty, paint it up very similar to your other destroyers and it'll fit right in. Obviously you're going to want to do a little bit extra to him because it's an elite unit, so having that white face works quite well. If you want to go for a different colour, by all means go for a different colour, but you can make them look pretty special, I'm absolutely sure of it, and have a bit of fun. So yeah, happy days. My main thing with these though is, as per usual, we've gone with Tesseract Glow over there. If you are doing the white, kind of going with your white and then Tesseract Glow over the top, my suggestion would be you need to shade it. You need to kind of give it a darker glow in certain, darker green colour in certain areas, which is why I don't use Tesseract Glow. In my honest opinion, I think Tesseract Glow doesn't look right all the time. If you go with your standard green, so if you go with, say, I don't know, Caliban green, and then go with a layer of, say, Auric Flesh and then Mute green, to give it like a little highlight and give it that kind of eerie glow, or even Warpstone glow or something like that, that can make it look a lot better, especially for them pipes that are leading into the guns. That's my honest opinion. It's up to you if you want to follow that or if you want to try something different. but the Tesseract Glow, I just don't think it does enough for it. It's a very uniform colour at the end of the day, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. Just my opinion. Right. Doing your base, so as per usual, paint up your little details for the base, and get your Astro Granite on there and stuff like that, and you'll look absolutely fine. It'll be pretty decent. It'll work very, very nicely, and yeah, you'll have a decent looking unit at the end of it, though, at the end of the day. So, you know, you might say how you want to paint it or not. We got a data sheet for the Hexmark Destroyer. It's only 4 power. He's a pretty decent unit, though, and yeah, pretty good stuff. Obviously, it gives him a bit of a tutorial for the multi-threat eliminator as well, because he can target multiple units in one go. Very, very handy. Then we move on to our campaign for this week. So, Kalmar's Skull. So, Kalmar's Skull, we get the scouting of the Black Site. A pretty decent 75 power battle, so should be quite good and keep you going for a little bit. Moving on though, we get a little bit of information. So we get the Leagues of Votann mentioned here as well for in this March to War section. The Leagues of Votann are one of the armies that I must admit I really, really like. Obviously, leagues are split into different conglomerates and leagues. So there is Kronos Hegemony, the Greater Furian League, and Ymir Conglomerate, well, when I go and speak, which the Ymir Conglomerate is the one I like personally. They are led by Carls, so these are generals of the League's armies, and they lead oath bands, comprised of kin soldiers, combat vehicles, voidcraft and such like. There is the Ynnari Hearthguard as well, which are pretty cool, which are big armoured space dwarves, which look pretty damn cool. They also have a Brokir Thunderkin, Hernkin Pioneers and Hernkin Warriors as your core units. Obviously you do get others, so you get Grimnir, who is a pretty badass looking guy, and one of the brilliant models that I must admit I really, really enjoyed painting. You get the Hecaton Land Fortress, you get Sagittor and such like. A really cool army, in my opinion. I really, really like these guys, and I need to finish my other ones off because they are cool. I have painted so far. I've painted my Sagittor, my Carl, my Ynnari Champion, and Grimnir, and I need to get around to doing the others in between all the other stuff I'm painting. But they're pretty damn good, and they have some pretty cool looking units as well. So not bad at all. So really, really good stuff, and nice to see the Leagues of Votann being mentioned a little bit more in here because they are pretty damn good and worthy of being added into this magazine, I think. Obviously, the next 3 issues are our Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I will go through all of them, so I'm looking forward to having a Redemptor Dreadnought. It can have different build options. They are going to go for this build option, I reckon, but you can change parts to it, so entirely up to you. You do have other bits and pieces for it. Your choice. So my thing with this is collect all 3 parts and then build it. If you start doing sub-assemblies, you might add parts on and think, oh, I want to change that later on. If you do it all in one go, at least you can get the right build first that fits in with the army that you're building. That's my personal opinion on it. It's up to you how you want to go about doing it, but it is ultimately your choice. But it's a really cool unit. After that, we get our Inquisitor, and then lastly, in the very, very last issue, we get the good old final Necron unit as well, which is Luminor Xeris, which is a super cool unit, in my opinion, but really good stuff. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. Stormbringer magazine hasn't turned up this week. Well, so far this week, should I say. I think they're having the same issue as last week, so they've changed something to do with the delivery for it. I don't know what exactly they've changed. Even my news agents aren't too sure why it hasn't arrived for the 2nd week on the trot. But all my local news agents have had exactly the same thing, including the ones who carry extra copies. They're all struggling. Don't know why. I don't know if this is just a thing for where I live or if it's a nationwide thing. It's a bit frustrating, a bit annoying, but it will turn up soon. I'm absolutely sure of it, and as soon as it does, a new video will be out and we'll get some more Age of Sigmar goodness. Anyway, Thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye-bye then.